Hello, this is P. Radhakeshini and here we are going to discuss about Zenker's diverticulum. Are you all ready? Okay, let's jump into our topic. Zenker's diverticulum. Before knowing what is Zenker's diverticulum, we have to know the location where it occurs. Okay, what is the location of Zenker's diverticulum? Actually, Zenker's diverticulum is related to pharynx. Pharynx are of three types. They are nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx is also known as hypopharynx. So, the Zenker's diverticulum is actually related to the laryngopharynx, that is hypopharynx. Okay, now we know the three parts of pharynx: naso, oro and laryngo. Three parts of pharynx. Here we go with some important structure where this Zenker's diverticulum occurs. Okay, what is the important structure is Killian's dehiscence. Killian's dehiscence is also known as gateway of tears. Killian's dehiscence is also known as gateway of tears. Okay, Killian's dehiscence. By this structure we can understand the Killian's dehiscence. Okay, here is the larynx and behind that there are two muscles. They are thyropharyngeal muscle and cricopharyngeus muscle. Okay, where is Killian's dehiscence is? It is between these two muscles. So it is between these two muscles. Upper is thyropharyngeus and lower is cricopharyngeus. In between that, Killian's dehiscence is present. Okay, what is the relation between Zenker's diverticulum and Killian's dehiscence is? Actually, this Killian's dehiscence is a weak fellow. That is, it is a weaker structure. Okay, so what happens is it can easily form a pouch. Can you see this outpouching? This outpouching is called Zenker's diverticulum. This is the normal structure of Killian's dehiscence, but because it is weak, this is very weak, it leads to Zenker's diverticulum. We go with the Zenker's diverticulum. So concentrate in the structure, that is Zenker's diverticulum. This is the face of human, and here is the Zenker's diverticulum, that is Killian's dehiscence. So you can know that under that cricopharyngeal muscle will be present. So this muscle I have drawn here, that is cricopharyngeus muscle, and before this esophagus is present, and before that trachea is present. All these are the structure. Okay, so what is Zenker's diverticulum? It is the outpouching of Killian's dehiscence, occurs in the Killian's dehiscence, that is just above the upper esophageal sphincter. The esophagus has the upper esophageal sphincter, upper sphincter. So just above that, this Zenker's diverticulum occurs. Now we know about this Zenker's diverticulum and its location, that is Killian's dehiscence. Here we go with why it occurs. What is the reason for Zenker's diverticulum? That is why it occurs. This is the Zenker's diverticulum and here is the esophagus, which has upper esophageal sphincter. We know that during swallowing, our upper esophageal sphincter has to be opened. Only then our food can enter into the esophagus. But what happens here is there is constriction of the esophagus, that is it doesn't open properly. So what happens is when we eat, the food enters here and it tries to move inside the esophagus, but because it is constricted, that is due to this muscle, which is cricopharyngeus muscle. Okay, this cricopharyngeal muscle tone increased and which closes the esophageal sphincter, so food cannot travel into the esophagus. What happens is it finds some other way, it needs to go to some other point, so it finds the weak area. This fellow is too weak, so we can occupy that space. So what happens is it makes a pouch and it started increasing, the size started increasing as the duration progressed, and what happens is the food happily enters into this pouch and it stays inside this pouch. Okay, this is what the cause of Zenker's diverticulum. Okay, now we are done with why it occurs. Actually, I have some note to tell you. I told it before, but I should stress about it. That is, Killian's dehiscence is just a structure. It is an anatomical structure. It is not a pathology. But Zenker's diverticulum is the pathology. That is, it is the outpouching which occurs in the Killian's dehiscence. That's what I need to say. And we go with the most common age. This Zenker's diverticulum occurs in elderly, that is more than 60 age. Not commonly in young adults. It occurs only more than 60 years of age. And all these we know. What are all the pathology we are you all okay about it? Okay, so here we go with the clinical features. What does it lead? This pathology, what it leads, that's what we are going to see. That is clinical features. Okay, this is dysphagia. As food enters, it's what I said is it starts to stagnant. It stays inside the pouch. But what happens is as it accumulates more, we cannot swallow it. We cannot swallow the food. Okay, so dysphagia occurs. Dysphagia is difficult in swallowing and gargling sound. During swallowing, there produce gargling sound. Gargling sound is produced. Then halitosis. Normally, we know that undigested food leads to bad smell. Okay, here simply undigested food which is staying for a long time. We don't know for how many days it is staying. We don't know how much old it is. So what does it lead is, it leads to halitosis, that refers to bad smell. That is bad smell. I don't have space here. Okay, halitosis is bad smell. Okay, bad odor from the stagnant food. And cough and aspiration. You must know why it occurs. Cough and aspiration is, I told you this is esophagus and here is the Zenker's diverticulum, and the main part is before the esophagus. What do we have is we have trachea. Okay, trachea. So what happens is sometimes the food from here, it enters into the trachea, and what does it lead? It leads to aspiration. It leads to aspiration and continuous coughing. So cough and aspiration occurs as the food enters into the trachea, and then it also penetrates to the lung. Then undigested food regurgitate at night. This also lead to undigested food which regurgitate at the night. Next, we go for the diagnosis. We are done with why it occurs. I told you some important note and the clinical features. Now it's about diagnosis. How do we find it? The gargling sound, which is an important diagnosis which can be used by palpating. We can know the gargling sound. And next, the most common diagnosis is barium swallow. So barium swallow, in lateral view, you can know the size, how much the pouch is, how much the size of the pouch. All that you can know by the barium swallow. And endoscopy may lead to some lesions, so it is not probably used. So that is about diagnosis. Zenker's diverticulum treatment. We are going to learn about the Zenker's diverticulum treatment. That is, first is excision of pouch and cricopharyngeal myotomy. We have to excise the pouch and what cricopharyngeal muscle, that is removed. Okay. Then Dollmann's procedure. In Dolman's procedure, cauterization is made, that is, shock is made in the cricopharyngeal muscle, and then the part is divided. That is Dolman's procedure. And the latest one is endoscopic laser treatment. Endoscopic laser treatment. So these are all the treatment of Zenker's diverticulum. Here is the image in which you can see the esophagus, and next to that the dividing part, which is cricopharyngeal muscle, and next to that you can find the Zenker's diverticulum, the pouch formation. What we done here is we just divided the in between part, that is cricopharyngeal muscle, and what it creates is it creates the as though the food enters into the pouch, it cannot stay there. By removing it, it can easily go into the esophagus. So that's about the treatment. This is what we do to treat the Zenker's diverticulum. Hi, thank you so much for watching my video. Also like, share and subscribe my video. Plus enjoy the upcoming lectures of Radhu Medics. Body. இதை கலட்டி மாட்டி ஓகே, இதை பார்க்க போகிறோம் இப்போ. கேர்ஃபுல், இதை கூட மாட்ட தெரில ஒழுங்கா. இல்லை கரெக்டாக மாட்டிடுவேன். அஞ்சு நிமிஷம் ஆயிடுச்சா? ஓகே, டன். நெக்ஸ்ட்டு போகலாமா?